Hi, I'm Richard Shottenfeld, talking from my new home in Washington, D.C., where I'm professor and chair of the Department of Psychiatry at Howard University. But most of you know me from my longtime home in New Haven and my work at Yale and the APT Foundation, where I served for varying periods as medical director and CEO. How I wish we were all together in person to celebrate this joyous and somewhat miraculous occasion. APT at 50. I'm so pleased that APT has continued to adapt, to innovate, and to find ways to do the essential work of providing health and recovery services for those who live with substance use disorders or mental illness. I want to thank Lynn Madden for inviting me to say a few words about the honorees and also about APT's founders and history. I also want to acknowledge the contributions of the APT Board of Directors, of everyone who works at APT to provide services, and especially the contributions of the thousands and thousands of patients and families who have trusted APT with their care and have helped everyone at APT figure out how to do it better and better. The honorees of the 50th anniversary celebration, Dr. Kathleen Carroll and Dr. Julia Shih, are two of the extraordinary people who have made APT what it is today, and each of them serves as a direct link between APT's history and its present and future. Kathy Carroll is one of the original Hot Five, the jazz combo of psychiatrists and psychologists, including Bruce Rounsville, Tom Costin, Stephanie O'Malley, Kathy, and me, recruited directly by APT's founders, Roz Liss and Herb Kleber, the mom and pop of the original team, and I guess we should call him Uncle Charlie Reardon. I think of us as a jazz combo or a jazz band because APT has always had the genius to encourage each of us to do what we do best, to play our own instrument, improvise off the melody or harmonics, make a riff, all for the common purpose and mission. For those of you who didn't have the great good fortune to work directly with Herb, Roz, or Charlie, the original jazz trio, Herb was the visionary, the storyteller, always curious and ready to try something new. One of Herb's favorite bits of advice was to use a new treatment early, while it still worked. And oh yes, Herb was willing to wear the white hat. Herb graciously allowed Roz, the business genius, to wear the black hat and take care of business, secure the funding, find the buildings, move into them in the middle of the night, and then apologize and get approval afterwards. Charlie was the medical director, the straight man, making sure that patients and families were getting the best services possible. At the time, an APT and SATU, the Substance Abuse Treatment Unit of the Connecticut Mental Health Center and the Yale Psychiatry Department, were completely interlocking organizations, with Herb, Roz, and Charlie running both. It had its advantages. With the assistance of a young financial whiz kid at the State Substance Abuse Authority, Bob Cole, programs could be and were reconfigured between APT and SATU to make services more efficient or better without any prolonged delays, with a handshake, with a simple letter of agreement. It was a relationship of trust, and it worked when the organizations were smaller and first forming. And then when APT and SATU had grown a bit, it made sense to separate them and let them flourish independently. This brief history wouldn't be complete without also acknowledging Jerry and Ray Bryant, directors of the first two methadone programs, both with lived experience, both with deep ties to the communities APT serves, to the AIDS Interfaith Ministry, the Emmanuel Baptist Church, and the Reverends Elsie and Curtis Cofield, among others, and both passionate advocates for people struggling with addiction and for people in recovery. There's enormous wisdom in APT's history, and we have all learned, directly or indirectly, from the founders, our ancestors and predecessors. Kathy Carroll, one of the original Hot Five, worked directly with Herb, Roz, Charlie, Jerry, and Ray. Kathy's genius has been systematically to figure out and identify the specific components of treatment that are effective and essential. Kathy has helped demystify treatment by breaking treatment down into its essential elements and most effective combinations. Her research has made it possible to train an expanding workforce to provide effective treatment and to allow patients and family members to have access to computer-based or web-based treatments that they can utilize on their own or in conjunction with a treatment program to support their recovery. Dr. Julia Shee's genius is in a different dimension. She plays a different instrument in the APT All-Star Jazz Band. Building on the great tradition of APT Central Medical Unit founders and early leaders, Ann Williams, Susan Moldy, Sue Henry, and its doctors, Patrick O'Connor, David Feline, and now Jeanette Tetral, Julia Shee is a genius in connecting in with individual patients and family members, a genius in providing expert and compassionate treatment and care, a genius in working collaboratively with an extended team across all of APT's programs and services. There isn't anyone connected with APT who doesn't know or hasn't heard about Dr. Julia Shee and who doesn't love her. Isn't that what APT is all about? Developing and providing the best, expert, compassionate, and respectful health and recovery services for patients, families, and communities. The APT 50th Anniversary Celebration honorees, Dr. Kathy Carroll and Dr. Julia Shee, bring the mission to life and exemplify APT's highest ideals. Congratulations, Kathy and Julia. Congratulations and happy 50th anniversary, APT Foundation.